3, 2, 1.
The good kind of eavesdropping. You might have noticed that that's the talk title for today. And, it's considered rude, impolite, and disrespectful to eavesdrop. It's intrusive, it's meddlesome, it's nosy, and can be very scandalous when you eavesdrop. Some spies do it. That's part of their work, spies, to eavesdrop, I suppose. But I was reading that some spies do it by recording, get this is fascinating, recording the vibrations of a hanging light bulb. It doesn't work so well in lamps, but in a hanging light bulb, they use a telescope and a $400 electro-optical sensor that they put at the eye of the telescope that watches the vibrations and records the vibrations of the hanging light bulb. And then they use some common, that any of us can download, analog to digital converter software. And from that, they can hear, they can listen, they can analyze the song, the music, the talk, the whatever's going on in that room that they're watching. But today I'm not really talking about espionage or even being a nosy Parker. This, like the title says, is about the good kind of eavesdropping that can increase and solidify your belief in the new experience that you have decided to manifest into your life. On October 16th, 1967, Neville Goddard asked a group that he was teaching these questions. If your income had just been increased to, say, $30,000 a year from your present income of less than $10,000, how would you feel? How would your present circle of friends see you? Would they know it? Would they discuss it? Would they speak of the change in your life? Tell them, and then eavesdrop and hear your friends discuss you as one who is now making $30,000 a year. Now, remember, that was 1967, so ignore the numbers. But this came in a lecture called A Movement Within God, what you would call our use of motion with the power that is within us now. And in it, we use the law of what he calls the law of identical harvest. It is the use of, you may say, gathering of the crop, which is the description. The crop is the description of which you have decided to declare into your life. That is the crop. I have declared this, that, or the other, XYZ, to be in my life. That is the crop which you are harvesting. And you are reaping this crop into manifestation with a dedication to the powerful tool that we've been talking about all this month, your imagination. Now, I want to remind you what I have said before, and you could read this in Neville's work, in U.S. Anderson's work, especially The Three Magic Words, great book, or even in The Science of Mind, or even in the scriptures. You can find this. Things like this: the kingdom of heaven is within. The actual three magic words of U.S. Anderson: you are God. Or as Neville says, God and your wonderful imagination are one. Now, some may think that's blasphemy. Some may think it's impossible, incomprehensible, even overwhelming. And I get it. It can feel a little overwhelming. And that's why when I talk about revealing the divinity within, or some version of that, I am working to inspire you to not be overwhelmed with the idea that God is within you. And it is there that you can manifest what it is you have decided to have in your life. But be that as it may, it's still true. Whether you feel overwhelmed, whether you feel it's blasphemous, any of that, it's still true. We are each the operant power in our lives. We each are the operant power in our lives. The universe just brings forth what we believe. And what is that? Well, I go back to a quote from the Talmud that says, we see the world not as it is, but as we are. We experience the universe, not necessarily as it is, but as we are. And as we connect through a frequency of spiritual mind treatment, affirmative prayer, meditation, these manifestation tools, affirmative incantations, then we start connecting the frequency of our mind and heart and gut to the frequency and joy of the divine, of the universe. So let me ask you, what and where are you? What state? Now, I don't mean the state like California or Missouri or whatever. The state of mind, the mental state, the state of being. What state are you thinking from or through? You see, we can move from mental state to mental state. You know this. But we either do it deliberately, knowing the truth of who we are and what we are doing, or unintentionally by falling into the depths of what we see in the headlines or on social media, or just allowing the statistics of life, of especially non-involved life, our non-involvement in life, to just let it flow. And I like the idea of letting life flow, but having an intention with it, a purpose with it, and joining our frequency of how life is with that of the divine that is with us, the divine intelligence, the divine love. And then as we're moving through that, now we want to know what and where do we want to be. So what and where do you want to be? What's your next move? And what do you need to do in mind, body, and spirit to move, to be it, to move and be it? You need to move you. I need to move me. We need to move ourselves. Nobody's coming to save us. Oh, we can attract assistance to our lives. But it's all from us. It's all from our mind, our spirit, our actions. Each of us needs to remove this mask we are wearing now and step away from the location in mind that we are at now, so that we can move to the spirit that is within us, the power that is within us, the vision of our next adventure that is within us, so that this new experience we've decided to have will manifest. So, what do you want? What do you want? Think about that for a second. What do you want? And what does the world look like when you have it? Two big questions. What do you want? What do you want next? What's your next experience? What's your next journey? New house, new career, new job, new car, new relationship, new this, that, or the other. It matters not if it's a thing, or if it's an idea, or if it's a peace of mind kind of situation, something a little more esoteric maybe. What do you want? And what does the world look like when you have it? What does your world look like when you have that new this, that, or the other? new thing, new idea. I'm going to repeat what Neville said earlier, because it's the essence of this eavesdropping technique that he's come up. It's the essence of what we're talking about today. So here we go. If your income had just been increased to say $30,000 a year from your present income of less than $10,000, how would you feel? How would your present circle of friends see you? Would they know it? Would they discuss it? Would they speak of the change in your life? Tell them, and then eavesdrop and hear your friends discuss you as one who is now making $30,000 a year. Again, don't get bogged down with the numbers. You can change them as you wish. Who cares? Could be 300,000 a year. You can even change the whole money idea completely and put it in some fabulous relationship or a new job, car, perspective on life, whatever it is. Don't get bogged down on him talking about money or even the idea, because some of you have read Neville, and some of you have gotten into the idea that the eavesdropping technique is just for money. Not true. Okay, so let's first notice what Neville asks from you, okay? First thing he asks from you in that is, how do you feel? He wants to get emotions involved. He wants to go beyond the logical, the factual, even the practical. How do you feel? How do you feel when this happens? Happy, sad, elated, tingly, at ease, peaceful, thankful? You got to figure that out. If this comes into your life, this idea or this thing comes into your life, how would you feel? How would your present circle of friends see you? That's the next question. Gets your sense of sight involved. Because you're watching them. You're watching them being excited. You're watching all these people who love and respect you, and maybe some who don't, that are frenemies, I guess they call it. How they're reacting, how they're responding to your success in whatever part of your life you're having this success. Maybe it is the money. Maybe you are now the $300,000 person. But watch that. How are they reacting? That's going to amp you up more, because these are friends being excited for you. Even the ones who might be jealous, they're still excited about this. They're excitable. They may not be excited for you, but it creates an excitement in them, this jealousy. Third question. Would they know it? Would they discuss it? Would they speak of the change in your life? Think about that. By contemplating the answers to these questions, your imaginative powers and connection deepens to this idea, to this thing that you have decided to have in your life. As you watch the responses and reactions of your friends, it brings it more real to you. To your mind, to your imagination, to your subconscious, to your belief system. And to make sure that this technique explodes with congratulatory conversations, you got to make sure and tell them in this imaginative state. Tell them and imagine telling your friends this new experience that you have had, that you are having presently. And allow yourself to enjoy the fruits of their love and support by hearing, eavesdropping on their conversations once they know it. Once they know that you've had it. Listen. Oh, wow. So great. He's so great. I knew she would do this. Boy, do they have it made. Manifesting is a holistic experience. Mind, body, spirit, the senses, feelings, using your imagination. That's what Neville is teaching in his eavesdropping technique. I've said it before. How many millions of times over the years? It's a holistic experience. You get your feelings involved as you imagine the manifestation you've decided to have. The act of imagining your good is a change of state. It's a change of mental state. It's a change of perspective, attitude, and perception. Like Tony Robbins says, the difference between peak performance and poor performance is not intelligence or ability. Most often, it's the state that your mind and body is in. So you change your posture, you change your focus, you change your life. Okay? Let's try this. Let's try this together. Come on. Change your posture. So stop whatever you're doing, please, and sit down. If you happen to be listening to this on the podcast, pull over in the car, pull over safely and park just for, 5 minutes. Okay. So we've done that. Sit down. Now let's change your focus. That's the second thing. Change your focus. Get into a meditative state. So let's do this together. Let's take a deep breath. Hold it in. 3, 2, 1. Let it out. Couple more times. Let's do this. Yeah, let it out. One more time, very slowly, very deeply. And let it out. If you haven't already, close your eyes. Put them at a soft focus if you prefer. Put your feet on the ground. And allow yourself to open your mind and your heart. Oh, there might be sounds around you. There's an airplane passing by me right now. Earlier, there was somebody not happy and crying next door. Those noises, that's life. Life is around you. Life keeps going around you. You do not need a special altar. You do not need a special quiet room. You do not need special music. That is all nice. And when you do this on your own, you, of course, may enhance your experience that way, but it is not needed. And we're not doing that this morning. So just open your mind and heart. Just let it be. Allow the energy from the universe to come through you. Allow the love and power from our Mother Earth come up from your feet into you. And allow these energies to flow through you, into you, without you, in a circular motion. What it is you want, that's what you think of right now. See it. See it. Is that an increase in income from somewhere, from your job? Maybe it's a new job. What does that look like? Be as specific as you can. What does it look like? Doesn't have to be the exact name of a place. But what is that place? How does it make you feel when you're there? How does it make you feel with that person? Describe that person in the new relationship, whatever it is. Can you imagine peace of mind? Can you imagine your body temple doing this instead of whatever it is it's doing now? To being at peace, to being in grace. Then imagine that you have told people about this. Oh, my body temple is so healthy now, is so at ease. My mind is so in joy every day. I am grateful. I realize, I see, I think about, and I connect to that which I am grateful for. Oh, you should meet my new friend, I guess I call them. Oh, so much fun. This person is so simpatico with me and I with them. I just got a raise and a promotion. My new book was just released and sales are just more than I thought could ever be. Whatever it is. Imagine that you have told your friends that and step away. Walk around the corner and then stop and listen. And overhear this conversation between your friends and acquaintances talking about you, talking about the new you, this new adventure, this new experience that you are having. And about the fact that you've accomplished a goal of yours. Maybe they didn't even know about that goal. And imagine hearing very clearly the things they say. Can you hear the words? Joy, bright. Such a difference. So great. It's so great to see the difference, the beauty, the joy, the happiness. So deserving. Imagine in great detail who's talking. Which friend is telling you this, or telling each other? Which friends are telling each other this, and thus you, because you're eavesdropping? What are they saying? What's the tone of their voice? What's the words they are using? And as you hear this, how does it make you feel? You're proud of your accomplishment? This is an accomplishment, no matter what it is. The receiving of something physical, or the change in your mindset. It is an accomplishment that you should be proud of. Are some of your friends saying words of praise and admiration, or are some of them jealous or surprised even? Whatever each of them says, internalize it, feel that it has become real. You are now, with this idea or with this object, you are now in the open, in public with it. Oh, you're not bragging. This is not about bragging. This is about enjoying. This is about sharing the goodness in your life with others. Listen to them. Eavesdrop. This is the good kind of eavesdrop. So, what did we just do? What did we just do? And you can repeat this to yourself at another time. I know we didn't probably take a good 20 minutes or something like you would take in a workshop, but you get the idea. And even if you only heard a word or two or got a little bit out of this, now you understand the process. That this imagination, this technique of eavesdropping sparks your imagination. And as you spark your imagination and the feelings that you get through this imaginative process, you are deepening the belief into your subconscious of this happening. You are knowing that this is happening because you are embodying it. Your mind doesn't know the difference really between your imagination and something happening in fact, because it's the truth that's most important. So again, what did we just do? Neville describes it like this. There's a motion in God, and that movement will produce results. Everything in this world is nothing more than the result of a movement in God, which is a motion in your wonderful imagination. The slightest imaginal act that is a change, I don't mean just an act for you can imagine things you don't believe, but if you imagine something you believe is a change, I love this, a thrill is sent through divine being. At that moment, you have actually entered another state and made it alive and real in your world. Later in that lecture, he quotes from the scriptures of Mark that said that whatever you desire, believe you have received it and you will. Even the scriptures talk about this. Whatever you desire, believe you have received it and you will, be it in prayer, be it through the affirmative incantations, or an imagination technique like the eavesdropping technique. Because you are in charge here. You are the creator here. The ancient truth, the quantum truth, is that we are each our own playwright in this play called life. And we are also the caster of the players, the designer of the set, the lights, the sound. We're also the director of this play. And even if the set changes from our vision of it, or the players are different, because we don't really have to deal with the how, we have to deal with the what and why and the feelings behind it. So don't worry about the how necessarily. This has to be here and that person has to be there and this, that, or the other. Let the universe work with that. So if things don't, if the play that you envisioned is not exactly as you thought, if the set changes a little bit, if the light is a little bit, if the cast of characters is a bit different, that's okay, right? Because the end of the play is the same. The reality of your story come manifest. That's where you want to sit. That's where you want to know that the reality of your story has come manifest. It all begins and ends with you in your imagination, which the law of harvesting, as Neville likes to call it, the law of attraction, the law of cause and effect, as Dr. Holmes would call it, whatever you want to call it, listens to you, hears what you are imagining, figures out the how to make it happen, and then manifests it into your life. That's what the law does. That's what the universe does. That's the law's job, the how. And it may bring you little hints now and again. Hey, go do this. Hey, go do that. And you take action. You got to take action. You got to take action in mind and in body and in spirit. So I invite you to do this again tonight, to do this whole eavesdropping experiment tonight, this technique. And remember this, with knowing your divine power within and revealing that, as you speak in the present tense, when you start this technique, when you start any imaginative technique, remember those first two words, I am.